Welcome to Quantum Spirituality, my offering, where I share all the things I guide this experience. I'm Jane, by the way. As we are consciously creating this life and love, hopefully, that's what I want, where the physical and the spiritual meet. So everything that I share, it's I'm calling them like quantum sermons now. That's what's come through. And I'm like, oh God, really? You ever like have something come through and you're like, oh God, this is what I'm calling it? Yeah, I am. So I am. So thank you for tuning in and taking the time to check this out. Please hit the like, the subscribe, the share option. That is amazing. So I'm sending you a big sweaty beam of love right now from Costa Rica. I just led an online full moon equinox lunar eclipse cacao ceremony, which was very potent, I felt, as did the participants. And I was able to have a client right after that. So I am feeling super vibey and wanted to share some of this energy. So I hope that you're doing really well wherever you are in this right now. Okay, you ready for this? You ready for this? So, something that has come through recently is this concept of attachment. And I've talked about attachment because it's like this spiritual topic, but I want to talk about something really specific today around attachment. And it's not necessarily the easy stuff that I want to talk about. And technically, it is the easy stuff that I actually want to talk about. So, with this concept of attachment, right? Like, not really going into the teachings of non attachment, the Buddhist teachings of non attachment, and other teachings of non attachment, because, as we're taught, to be in a space of non attachment is an enlightened way of being. I completely harmonize with that. That resonates with me as truth. And I'm finding that to be true for my own human experience of practicing non attachment. But what I find to be a little bit challenging is not attaching to the things that we like. Like it's really great and easy, even though it has its own challenges, to not attach to release the things that don't serve us, right? So if I am holding fear, lack, judgment, programs of stagnation where I'm just frozen and I'm not doing anything in life, like experiencing life, that's great. Like I want to release all the fear. I don't want to be attached to fear. I don't want fear to be attached to me. Like get it away, right? And And I feel like that's where I started in many ways of non attachment, of releasing the things that don't serve me. And the more I keep evolving in my own practice, in my spiritual practice, in my contemplations, and my embodiment, I am recognizing that it's beyond attaching to the things that we don't like. It's attaching to everything. Everything. Like for real though, everything. Like when I sold my house in North Carolina, I realized the depth of attachment that I had to a physical structure. I loved this house. This house had multiple memories that were just really delightful and healing and like some really bad stuff because of all the healing and like all this stuff, right? And I loved it. So for me to sell it wasn't from a place of I need to get rid of it because it's bad or I'm better than it. It was a sacrifice that I was very clearly guided by Great Spirit to release so that I could step into the next version of my life. So, practicing non attachment with something like my house was a big growth edge for me because I was fully experiencing love and grief and choice. When we lose a human in our life, like say they transition out of the physical, that's typically not a choice, right? So we're going to have grief. And, if you've ever been divorced or ended a relationship, that may have been by choice, but that's a painful choice. and there's usually something wrong with the relationship, whether it's unhealthy or it's not balanced or it's codependent or whatever. My case was very unique and really none of those are apropos, but that's not the point. But it's easy to release the things when it's like, oh, the marriage sucked, or the relationship sucked, or the job sucked. And so it's easy to let go of the things that we don't like. It's when we release attachment to the things that we love, that's where we start to truly ascend in our embodiment. We start to live as more of like the enlightened guru. And I want to share this because there's this belief in the field that, if whatever I call into my awareness, I manifest that, right? The law of manifestation, which I have such a beef with some of the teachings that are out there right now because they're only like half heartedly true. Like, y'all, manifestation literally means that it's perceivable with our senses. Everything is manifested. Everything. Everything is a manifestation of a thought. A thought of who? Creator, the oneness, the programmer, the divine nameless wonder in the sky. But I feel like I digressed, but I didn't. And that's just the funny thing. I also just got a little sidetracked because I looked outside and was like, oh my God, I see a new flower. There's like hibiscus flowers where I am, and they're like kind of starting to pop out because rainy season is just starting. So all the flowers that have been like, I am shriveled are now like Shazam. But anyway, so when we can release attachments to a manifestation, whether it's the thought form or the sensory thing that we hear, that we see, that we touch, that we taste, the form of that, to release attachment to manifestations is not only a path. To me, it's a more of a supreme path. And just because we say that we release attachment, say, to something that we love, doesn't mean that we're not going to have it or that it will be taken away. Like, I released the attachment to my house. I also sold it. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to have a house again. I'm currently staying in a house. My life is getting ready to change, moving into the next chapter, like all these things. Um, if I release attachment to needing food, then one of two things are going to happen because I've released full attachment to it. I've released control. Then one of two things will happen. I will either become at peace with hunger or food will arrive. Either way, I win because I'm not stressed. I'm not feeling the hunger pains as much, or I got food. If I release attachment to needing a job, not saying that we don't need to share our gifts and have some energetic reciprocity, not saying that. But some of us have been taught that if we don't have a job, we're lazy, or if we don't have a job, we're a bad person. So if I release attachment to I need a job, then I open up my own field of consciousness and energy that isn't attached to my identity if I, in fact, had that job. Because what happens with attachments is we form labels. We create an identity around the attachment. I am a homeowner. I am a wife. I am a sister. I am a mother. I am a father. I am a teacher. I am a student. I am healthy. I am sick. Like we will form an identity around an attachment. The attachment creates the identity. When we are in an identity, we are out of our true nature, which is the infinite. I am is infinite. I am infinite. But if I have an attachment to my body, then the way my me relates with my body will inadvertently be that of control. I will try to manipulate it, or I inadvertently judge it. I have a relationship with it that doesn't fully let me experience the grandeur of my physical body. And in that, those places of resistance create places of resistance in my body. The energetic resistance to being a label or attached to, say, my body, then I create resistance in my body, therefore creating dis-ease. Now, if I have no attachment to my body, this doesn't have anything to do with love or hate or anything like that, just attachment only right now. If I have no attachment to my body, then in every now moment that I draw awareness to the fact in this now moment, I experience the manifestation of my body. For me, that lights me up. For me, I'm like, cool. For me, I'm like, ooh, my armpits are a little sweaty. For me, I'm like, I'm a little thirsty. Like I start to notice that what my body needs or what it's experiencing, or just a deeper appreciation that I have one that is currently living in this now moment. So then I start to feel this like gift of the awareness of the form that I am without the attachment to the form that I am. If I'm always attached to my body and I'm always focused on my body, whether it's in praise or in judgment, I still have a limited experience, because if I'm always, say, in praise of my body, oh, it's my body, I love it, then I won't be able to feel the polarity of having a body, right? Maybe the like, oh, I feel a little chubby today, or um I might be ignoring a physical pain, which is a messenger of energy that hasn't been moved through fully. Um, so if I am fully identified with my body as I am my body, and I don't experience the full polarity, then I don't experience the possibility of what the beauty of polarity can give. When I am in the witness seat of my body, like, wow, I got a body, then what happens is there's this energetic shift within. I can't tell you exactly what it is. To me, it feels effervescent. It feels like my face gets like kind of smiley. Sometimes it creates tears in my eyes. Maybe they're tears of gratitude or joy or awareness of the gift that it is. But I feel this something. And I witness that my body gets to feel the sensation of a something that I can't see. Wow. And then I start to feel the wonder of that. And then that amplifies this feeling that I have into a whole new realm that I could not create if I were fully attached to my body. I miss the wonder of it because I'm always either in one way with it or another way with it. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense, because this is just coming through. Y'all know I don't plan this. This is like on the tail end of all the energy that's been moving through me. It's a quantum sermon, right? So I share this for us to identify. I'll just use the attachment to the physical body. Can we live a life fully embodied without being attached to the body? Of course. Now, by me not attaching to my body, by me saying, you know what, I'm not attached to my body, does that mean I'm all of a sudden going to lose my body because the universe thinks that I don't care? No. Au contraire, mon frère. Quite the opposite. If I don't have the attachment, I don't have the resistance. And then my body gets to celebrate that it just gets to be. It just gets to be accepted. The energy in quantum field of acceptance alone allows life to live in its more robust expression. And we know that by whatever, I forgot his name. Uh, the Japanese dude that starts with an M, Morimoto, that learned that, if you talk poorly or negatively or hatefully to plants, they die. You speak kindly, they live. So basically, it's all the energy, the vibration of the words. Yes, and it doesn't matter what language I'm speaking, it's the intention behind it. If my intention behind it is to judge the plant and to tell it or to feel that it's not good enough, or saying that you're only going to be this plant forever and you never get to be anything else. Like, I am confining it in a quantum entangled web of a belief so strong that I start to diminish its life force energy. Same thing with our physical. If I talk to this plant and I'm like, whoa, you're so cool. I like the way you have spots on your leaves and you have these veins. And oh my God, this is so cool. I love the colors of green that you have. And wow, I'm just noticing. I'm just witnessing this. And I'm commenting of just wow. Just wow. I'm not attached to how your leaves are growing, how deep your roots are. I don't care, because I'm accepting the plant exactly how it exactly how it is. And I'm energetically being a witness to it in acceptance. That plant will then thrive because life has this then freedom. It's always free, but life has this freedom to express itself in a way that it's almost like I see it like as a show off. Like the plant's like, oh yeah, well, let me show you this. And then the plant like does this really dope thing. And then it's like every day you see the plant and you're like, oh my God, how did you grow this? You grew a flower. You're not even supposed to grow flowers. Oh my God. Bam. Same thing with human. If we don't have an attachment to the physical, we end up seeing and experience the physical in so much more awe, so much more honor, so much more just wow. And then our body starts to show up differently for us. Our body starts to say, oh yeah, watch me lift this heavy thing that you didn't even think you could lift. Or watch me sleep so well, you didn't even know you could sleep that soundly. Watch me have these spiritual gifts where I can read energy and work with the elements in a way that people think I'm bending the air, but really I'm just working with it because I remember that I am that. Literally, right now, there was a breeze of air that just flowed through my house. That's my relationship. That's my level of non attachment. I wish you all could feel this right now. This cool breeze, it literally just came in. Medicine. Mm. To me, that tells me I'm on the right path and I'm sharing something good. So thank you for listening. And I'll just keep you for a minute more. Maybe a couple. I'm not literal here. So, my invitation is to recognize where we are identifying with our physical world in general, but just the physical body. I might make other episodes that are about other attachments if you all groove on this and are like, what about an attachment to something, your job, your partner, your relationship, your children, your parents, like whatever it is, like, and I will happily talk about it if you want to put it in the comments or anything that you'd like for me to talk about, because these are just what's coming through for now. But I would love inspiration through requests, total request live. Anyway, but if we are in non-attachment to the physical, then I am not identifying as Jane because I have Jane's body. I'm identifying as Jane because I just want to have a name so people can call me up and like direct their conversation with me. But I am not Jane. I am not my body. I'm an aspect of the infinite clusterfucked into this one human called me, called Jane by name. If I wake up tomorrow and I have something amazing that my body has done or sprouted or grown into, I will celebrate that. But I'm also not attached to it always being permanent. Just as if I wake up tomorrow and something hurts really bad. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm not going to be attached to that being permanent. Non attachment is also recognizing the impermanence of the infinite, meaning the infinite is infinite and every now moment is finite and anything is changing. Like everything is changing all the time. So if, for me, my weight, for example, my weight has gone up and down in my life for one reason or another, whether it was depression or joy, whatever. I would either lose weight or gain weight. Injuries, gain weight or lose weight. Like my physical matter has shifted. The way I look, sometimes I've looked older, sometimes I've looked younger in the course of a couple weeks. I don't attach to it. I would love to have a body that's like the weight of whatever and looking like a youthful whatever. And if I choose to see that in me now and honor where I am now and see myself as youthful and strong and a robust expression of a healthy life, I'll experience that, but I can't be attached to it. Because when we attach, we stagnate. When we stagnate, we are taking one of the core key codes of the new earth, of heaven on earth, out of the equation. We need to have all four pieces of the key codes to experience heaven on earth: love, acceptance, compassion, creativity. My teachings. You don't have to believe it. They're mine. It's my download, my transmission that I like to share with you. True. So if we form too much of attachment, too much of an attachment, we stagnate because we over identify with one limited way of being. So, how do we not attach? We become a witness. We can feel all of the feelings that we have around, say, this body, whether it's like, oh God, this hurts, or wow, this feels really good today. Or man, I wasn't this hot and sweaty earlier, but now not only am I hot and sweaty, I'm a little sticky. Okay, am I going to hate it? Well, if I hate it, I'm going to create more heat. And I don't want that. But I can just be like, okay, well, then I'm just not going to lean back fully on the chair so that I don't feel the feeling of sticking to it. I might put my arms up like this so I can feel the air cooling off my armpits. Okay. These are minute examples. We can take these examples into realms of anything. Just referencing the body for now. You can put it to anything though. I also feel and have a belief that if I'm not attached to my body, then I'm going to live a more eternal life. If I'm not attached to my physical, I become eternal. We are eternal. But if I'm in a pattern and quantum program of controlling, then I won't live the fullness of life, and life itself is eternal. So you see how they're like these little like switches to keep bringing me back to remember that like I'm eternal. Am I going to attach to my immortality? Ah, no. Because then that creates stress. Like imagine like if I attach to the immortality of the I am, that can get stressful. Like, oh my God, I have to do this forever. Oh my God. Or I can recognize that I'm eternal, and I will recognize the temporariness of this human experience. So I'm not attached to anything. I become the witness. I'm seeing both sides of it. I'm seeing the infinite and the finite. I'm seeing the youthful vibrancy and I'm seeing the wisdom. I'm seeing my physical form and I'm seeing my spiritual light. I am feeling the weight of me and the temperature of me. And I'm also feeling the void of me and the boundlessness of me. As I can feel all of that, I feel that I can feel more of all of that because I am not attached to one thing or the other. Now, if you have physical or chronic pain, chronic physical pain, this is not easy. I have practices that can move us through chronic pains so that everything around that stuck energy starts to release its grip. That's a whole other topic. If you have this, I have private sessions. You can go to janetheguide.com and we can work together and I can guide you through very specific intuitive programs for you with all that I know and have learned thus far to guide you through. So maybe you don't have to have as much chronic pain. Or maybe you don't attach to the pain, and maybe not attaching to the pain completely releases it. Depends on you. That's another topic. So, my inquiry is, can you live fully not attached to your physical body? And then I guess the question would be, if you don't attach to your physical body, then do you attach to your spiritual body? And if you attach to your spiritual body, then wouldn't you just be your spiritual body? Because there's technically nothing to attach to. It's not manifested. We call it manifested in our body, but our energy of spirit, the I am, it's a presence. It's like a thought. You can't touch it. You can't touch a story. So then if I attach to the I am, then would I just become the I am? And then I become the being witness, the witness being, the witness being the witness, the being witnessing the being. I become the totality of the I am. But if I'm attached to my body, attached to the labels, attached to my identity, my heels are dug in and there's no movement. So I leave it at that, to contemplate, for you to contemplate, for you to sit with this, see how it lands, see where it lands, see what questions arise, ask the questions, listen for answers. If you don't hear an answer, type it in the comments. I would love to dive into the questions. I don't have all the answers, but I have answers. And the answer may be, I don't know. Or the answer may be this really profound guru type of download that is meant to be shared. But there's only one way to find out. So sit with this, contemplate this, see how it lands, see where it lands in your body, see if you have resistance to non attachment, see if you have fear of non attachment, see if you have fear of releasing attachment to your body. And let me know. And until then, just remember that you're love. Like, regardless of anything I say, whether you believe it or not, take it all with a grain of salt, but also know that you're love and you're loved and you are also eternal forever. So thank you. Go to janetheguide.com. You can learn so much about what I offer. You can join online cacao ceremonies, in-person events. You can join the Patreon Eternal Now Conscious community, be a contributor to these messages and this activation. Your contributions make a big difference in my ability to share. So thank you. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember how loved you are. Okay. Ciao for now.